Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to learn how to do a Boolean suitability analysis. In particular, for this set of videos and this assignment, we are going to focus on areas that are actually not suitable for pollinators. If you remember from your research earlier in the semester, one of the big things is pesticide use. And so our kind of no-go, no-fly zone, if you will, for pollinators are areas in the county that potentially use pesticides. And I use the word potentially very strategically here. If you remember, we collected data only on a certain number of parcels in Madison. So if we think critically about what we collected, and if we think critically about how various land uses use pesticides, create pesticides, or cause other disturbances that are that would have a negative effect on pollinators, these are ones that we're just going to kind of select so we can kind of block them out from any potential design interventions later on. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if you remember, or if you have played golf, or if you understand some of the things we talked about in class, golf courses in particular, to keep the grass cut so short, use a lot of herbicides and pesticides, which have a negative impact on bees in particular, but also butterflies and hummingbirds. So one of the land uses that we might want to select out of our data set to declare it unsuitable is golf courses. Others include mining activities, where the mining activities disturb the soil, and so ground nesting bees, for instance, would also be negatively impacted by mining activities. This would also mean if they are mining, they're probably destroying vegetation, so there's probably no pithy twigs, and if they are, they could be destroyed at any time. So we're going to take out or select those as unsuitable as well. Other things that we're going to focus on, if you remember from pesticide use, there's kind of a spray cast off or odor or other things that can disorient and negatively impact pollinators. And so we are then going to buffer those instances, and we're going to use, if you remember from Danielle Beloit's bee body size count here, we're in this case going to use the largest distance because we don't want any bees or any habitat within this largest reach of fly zone, and so it's about 1,000 meters. And in our case, we're going to use feet for those of us using feet, but for those using meters, refer to her chart. But the feet that we are going to use is listed in your assignment statement at 1,969 feet. Now, you might ask, well, how do I know what land use is? If you recall, there is a thing called metadata, data about the data. And if you go into the Dane Land Use 2005 vector file, there are land use codes in there that are described. And in particular, we're going to declare mining, gas transmission utilities, gas stations, petroleum and chemical industrial uses, and golf courses as unsuitable. Now, I included gas stations and petroleum and chemical industrial uses and gas transmission utilities because recent research has showed the flavor or smell, if you will, in petrochemicals actually disorient bees, and they fly around as if they're kind of intoxicated, and so not very productive pollinators when they're flying around intoxicated. So with that, that concludes this intro video, and the next series of videos will walk you through the steps in creating this model. Thanks.